Hey guys, my name is Beth Jeffrey, and I thought I would make a quick video to show you how the writing tablet portion of my tutoring works. With recent events, I've had a ton of tutors contact me to ask specifically about the writing tablet that I use. So I just wanted to make a quick video. This isn't going to be very fancy. I hope you don't hear too much background noise. My husband is actually working from home, so he's got his own meetings and stuff going on. So anyway, I just wanted to show you, like, from my perspective, what it looks like to use the writing tablet when I'm tutoring. Okay, so I'm actually going to switch cameras so that I can just show you what the tablet looks like. So here's a different camera, and I can move this one. The other one's connected to my computer. And then on my desk here, ta-da, here I have my writing tablet and the pen that goes with it. And so I'm also going to share my screen like this. So this is a whiteboard, and this is what I typically use with my students. Zoom also has its own whiteboard. This whiteboard is provided by BitPaper, which I love, highly recommend BitPaper. But more about the tablet. So as you can see, my cursor is moving on the screen. And let's see, let me see if I can move this, make it, I hope this is larger for the video portion. So when you see my cursor just sort of moving around on the screen, get this closer, my pen is not actually touching the board right now. It is just sort of hovering around the board. But as soon as the tip of the pen touches the tablet, you can see that now it's writing. So one of the big misconceptions that I think a lot of people have about this type of tablet is that it can just write on top of whatever you've got going on in your like on your screen. But that's not true. It's basically just another mouse. So as you can see, I've got my regular mouse here. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just clicking and then moving around the mouse and writing on the board, on the whiteboard. So I hope that makes sense to you, that this tablet and pen is essentially just another mouse. But the reason that it works so well is because you're actually holding a pen in your hand rather than trying to write, with a mouse. This is a lot more natural to write with a pen in your hand and on a tablet. So that's it. I mean, that's the basic nuts and bolts of the writing tablet that I use. Again, this is a Wacom or Wacom. I'm actually not really sure how it's pronounced. And let's see, I'm going to switch back to my other camera so that you're not just looking at my hand. So there are a lot of other tablets out there on the market. For what I use it for, so the tablets are created for artists, for digital art, right? So there are a ton of really expensive tablets out there that do all kinds of really fancy art stuff. But for what I'm using it for, I'm just writing. I'm just using it as a pen and paper, essentially. So I always suggest to my students who are new to online tutoring, buy the cheapest one that you can find. You do not need to spend a bunch of money on a tablet. Now, if you are a tutor and are wanting to switch to online, the only thing that I would suggest is making sure that you find a tablet with a pen that does not require a battery. Because if you're going to be using it, however many hours per day, I can only imagine that those batteries are going to wear out and you're going to have to replace them. So like with this version, I think this tablet cost me like 40 bucks. I know they don't make this exact model anymore. It's the Intuos Draw is what I use. I think there are like some refurbished versions on Amazon. I don't know how reliable that is, but there are a lot of other brands out there, 30, 40 bucks. I mean, you should not be spending, well, I mean, I'm not going to tell you what to do, but spending $100 or more on a tablet just seems like overkill to me, unless you're going to be using it for other things other than tutoring. But really, like I said, like having a pen that does not require a battery, I think that's pretty important. To me, that would be worth spending an extra 10 or 15 bucks. You know, if you're comparing the two. So yeah, that's it. I'll show you, let's see, stop my share with that. Okay, so I'm going to share just Zoom's whiteboard. So before I shared my screen, which had the bit paper whiteboard, but now I'm going to share with you just Zoom's whiteboard so you can see how it's different. So with this whiteboard, it has its own, let's see, I actually haven't used Zoom's whiteboard in a while. When you open up the Zoom whiteboard, it will have its own annotate bar in it, and you can change different colors, and you can do highlighting, and you can do, you know, shapes and whatnot. So this is what I would have students do when I'm just sharing my screen. Like, this feature is what students actually use to write, and my students usually get a tablet too. I wanted to show you something else about the whiteboard. Oh, right. I just wanted to reiterate that this is, again, it's just like adding a second mouse to your computer. So I can actually show you, let me share my screen again. So here's the bit paper page again. So now, again, I'm just using my pen on here to move around. Move this over here. I'm just sort of hovering my pen over the board. I know it's all black, so it's kind of hard to see. I'm hovering my pen over the board to move my mouse, and so I can see where my mouse is up on the screen. And then when I touch that tip down, that's what actually, it's the same as clicking a regular mouse when you touch the tip. So so I can actually just like use this as a regular mouse. I can open a new tab. I can click here in the search bar, and I can type in, let's go to my website. And then I'm actually just using this as a mouse, and I can click on that, and it opens up my site. So again, like, that's what I think one of the biggest misconceptions is that this is going to either be a screen where you can see, you know, like what's on your regular screen, or this will be able to just write on top of everything else. But it's just a mouse. So you know, I can scroll. Oh, and another thing that is cool is that a lot of these will have different buttons. So, you know, if you can see, like, there's two little buttons here, and there's two buttons here, and then on the pen itself, it's got two little buttons. So these are just like little hotkeys. I use these a lot. Like, I have this button programmed to be Control Z, so that when I'm writing on the whiteboard like this, and oops, I've made a mistake, all I have to do is hover this tip over the pad and then hit this little button, and it undoes any of my drawings that I've done. So that's just a lot easier and faster than like going down here to erase. I can just undo anything that I've previously done, any of those strokes that I've previously done. Okay, so anyways, and then like these buttons here on the pad, I have like copy and paste, because a lot of times what I'll do is I'll just, like, let's say that a parent has emailed me a like a worksheet or something like that they want to, you know, they want me to go over with their kids during our tutoring session. So I actually just have these keys set to copy and paste. So this is, this button is actually a screenshot. So I'm just going to click that, and I'm going to use the pen to clip a little section of whatever is on my screen. Again, right now I'm just copying what's on my screen right now, but I can pull up in an email, you know, a student's work or something like that. And then right here, I go to a bit paper page, and then I hit this button, which I have programmed to paste. And then what I just screenshotted is now pasted in this bit paper page. So now I can use the marker, we can write on top of it, we can do math problems. Yeah, so that's it. I hope that that helps. Let me know if you have any questions. And let me switch this back to my other camera. So yeah, I know a lot of people are trying to move to online tutoring, both students and other tutors. So if you have any questions, then let me know. You can always email me, beth@mytutoringbee.com.